We settled Mars over a century ago. Making this dusty rock our home wasn't easy, but the promise that led us across the void was freedom. Something my family's bled for many times.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, bringing you the next step in my Red Faction Armageddon Insane Difficulty video walkthrough. And this is on our way to getting to the Purification plant. So once again, post Bastion, moving our way through here, clearing out aliens left, right and centre, and doing the good deed. Because obviously we've got a magnet gun and too much time, so what else would you do on Mars? It's not like there's any theme parks, but just keep pushing forward, doing the strategy you've been utilising for the most of the game, and you're going to be coming up against a kind of a boss area, and it's not too challenging at all, especially if you know what you're doing, because once you've destroyed it you can completely skip it. It's really fun actually, but there are a couple of rooms you can explore before you get there, and this is one of them. And when you enter into this room, there's a lot of salvage to pick up, and you're going to trigger some enemies. You don't have to come in here if you don't want to. If you're low on life or ammo and you don't want to be taking on anything more than you necessarily have to, completely skip this section, completely skip this room, because these are the laser firing, invisible, teleporting motherfuckers, and they will hurt you more than any other enemy aside from the giant things. But I mentioned in the last video that everything had been kicking off while I was away in France, and it kind of seemed like it did, because the day I left to journey on to my holiday, there was riots breaking out in England, and apparently, I mean, I've not had a chance to really look at too much of the news because we were in a real bubble in France, because I mean, you're in a different culture, you're in a different place, and you can get your newspapers, but what the fuck is the point in that? You're on holiday to get away from your own country. It's kind of the point to not be immersed in your own trash and bullshit. But it started all over somebody getting shot. It turned out it was, I believe, a drug dealer who got shot by the police. And where it gets complicated and where everything kicked off was the first report came through that he had a gun, and on like willful intent to either do harm to people or to distribute these drugs. So they were going in for some kind of sting operation, and the guy had a gun, so they shot him. And I'm not seeing a problem personally. I don't even see motivation for a riot. I'd rather just sit on arse personally, because I mean, what's the fucking point? But he got shot. A lot of people disagreed with it because of the resounding factor: the guy was black. That's where the main controversy comes from. And I know it probably sounds, you know, really callous and really, I wouldn't say racist, because I'm not making any, you know, remarks towards this. I'm just saying that the reason everything kicked off was because he was black, and if it had been a white person, it probably wouldn't have kicked off. And that's not me passing judgment on anything, it's just how it is. It's because race came into it, it's because ethnicity was a factor. And because of this, people were up in arms, and what do you do when you're up in arms? Do you play volleyball? No, you go and smash up a bunch of things for the fucking sake of it. So they ended up rioting in London, and it kicked off big time, it kicked off massively. They actually burnt down one of the older buildings in London, and which I find really tragic. I find that very sad that people have got such little respect for heritage and history just because they're a little pissed off at the police. And if you're going to smash something up, smash a fucking Tesco's, man. Smash a bloody Morrison's. They've got so much money, they don't need it. They've got kiss your ass money. They're probably like Scrooge McDuck swimming in a vault of fucking coins. You don't smash a building up that's older than your entire family. It's just ridiculous. But they burnt it down, and it's a moral victory for them, I assume, because they're all fucking idiots. But what happened from then on is it was kind of this catalyst and this flashpoint of other riots. So in Manchester they started doing it there, and in other places, and it turned out people were actually arranging riots on Facebook. And anybody that knows me knows I absolutely abhor Facebook. Facebook to me is the equivalent of crucifying my God, because I fucking hate it in every way, shape and everything about it. It is breeding a culture of fake plastic people, and I despise it with every fibre of my being. If it was up to me, it would be illegal. Everybody on it would be mandated into rehab to learn to fucking live, to learn to speak to people's faces, to learn to actually use their mouth instead of all this just conniving bullshit of somebody took a shit and writ on your wall, I just wiped my ass, I'm so special. And I just hate it. I hate everything about it, but it's enough about me and Facebook. But anyhow, they were using it as a tool for riots, and it's already been well reported that paedophiles have been using it to gather to either ogle / assault children, and terrorist organisations have also been using it to communicate. So doesn't it tell you that this really, really popular social networking site that sure does a lot of good for a lot of people and helps them stay in contact and, you know, talk to the friends and family that they might not get to do so in any other various means, but it's also facilitating, you know, really, really bad stuff. But that's like anything. Just look at a sword. A sword can hang on a wall and be a fantastic emblem of a different era. It can also stab your wife in the face. It's just all about the person using it. It's all about the context. It's all about the persuasion, the intent behind it. But anyhow, riots kicked off. It was smashing up everywhere, and the people who were related to the guy that got shot basically went on TV and made a statement saying, if you're doing this for our rights, like you think you're doing this fucking sacred crusade on our behalf, don't. Because this is not what we want, because we're actually salient human beings and we understand the irony of smashing up a load of fucking buildings that you will only then have to pay to repair through your taxes, so everybody loses. It's like... The funniest thing about it for me personally, even though it wasn't funny at all, it was horrific, is the people that were doing it are all the fucking dull scum, unemployed, scrounging waste and detritus of human life that have absolutely no self-esteem, spend all day watching Jeremy Kyle picking lint out of their belly button and smelling the fingers. That is literally what these people do. They are human viruses, and they've all gone out, they've all assembled to try and make themselves feel better by rioting and smashing shops up and stealing and pillaging and plundering and all that great stuff. And at the end of the day, it's the taxpayers' money that pays for the reparations for all the damage that they've made. So, I don't understand some people. Some people, it's like, there should be a mandatory IQ test on a global scale, and if you don't pass a certain measurement, you should either be forced to school or you should be executed, because these people just do not deserve to do what they're doing, and at the end of the day they're just causing tragedy for the sake of it because they don't have enough brain cells to realise they could sit down and read a book. Fucking morons. But yeah, a lot of stuff kicked off and it was really, really bad, and I hope people see the satirical nature of the rant I just did, because if you don't, you're probably just thinking I'm this elitist scumbag, and I'm really not. I just have absolutely no mercy for people that wantonly, you know, use violence as a tactic against anything, and just for the violence sake. It's just stupid. And I don't really know too much about the hurricane in America, aside from the fact that it was so bad that it made Barack Obama come back off his holiday, and apparently the National Guard was invoked, so that's obviously pretty serious stuff, and there's been outages and flooding and all sorts of madness, so it's been pretty shit all over, really. But this section here, you have to destroy that middle structure, and the easiest way to do it is do exactly what I just did. If you run directly out of it immediately and start circling around this area, rolling as best as you can, keep firing your guns into it, it will fall down as soon as you get the clear the area symbol, go around picking off everybody who's left, and then all you have to do is hold X down in the center and you will teleport back to Bastion. Job done, level completed. It's never that simple though, because there is one of the green guys and there's a bunch of the invisible dudes, so use your magnet gun, use your homing missile, and just be careful, because as you just saw, that guy does some serious damage. Some serious damage. But yeah, just keep doing your red faction thing, and just, you know, proselytize whether or not there's going to be another one, because although THQ have dropped Red Faction as a license, it doesn't mean Volition are going to stop making them, because it's a franchise that they've kept alive for a long time, and they have technology licensed to it that they haven't used in any other games. So if you ask me, if you spend 4 years building, well, I suppose you could say they've spent 10 plus years, because all the different iterations, building, crafting and finessing an engine, it's not like you're just going to give up on it. But yeah, Gears of War 3 is so close. Oh, I can feel it. I'm really excited. Also, Resistance 3 is pretty damn close now as well, and I'm excited for that. I'm a little nervous about how good it's going to be, because everything I've seen of it doesn't look like the Resistance I enjoy, but hopefully it'll prove me wrong and it'll be an awesome game. But yeah, it's just, there are many times, there are many periods where you can honestly say it's really exciting, you know, prospect being a gamer. There are other times when it's the doldrums, when there's nothing coming out, when you're just kind of going through the old titles you've been meaning to pick up and you never got round to, when you think, I could probably have better hobbies. But right now, I think it's probably the most exciting, you know, moment in history maybe when it comes to games, because there's so many top titles coming out. We're so far into this generation of consoles that everything looks fantastic, everything's looking better, and we're pushing the boundaries, yet they're reiterating on things and just making everything so damn exciting. But oh, I mean, Mass Effect 3, there's so much good stuff. Skyrim's coming on, and it's just madness. Darkness 2 even, which is looking so good. But exciting time to be a gamer. You should rejoice in the fact that this, you know, this hobby of ours is just leading the future really when it comes to creative vision and enjoyment. But that's the end of the level, and I've ranted on long enough, so thanks for watching guys, I hope it helped. Don't take the rant too seriously, and you take care now.